The dusty Christmas box crashes to the attic floor, spilling ornaments across the wooden planks. 8-year-old Sophia gasps as yellowed envelopes scatter like fallen leaves around her small feet. "Mommy, what are these letters to Daddy?" Maria's blood turns to ice. From downstairs, she hears her daughter's innocent voice calling out, and her heart hammers against her ribs. Those letters, the ones she thought she'd burned years ago. "Sophia, honey, come down from there right now." Maria's voice cracks as she climbs the narrow attic stairs, her nurse's scrubs catching on the rough wood. But it's too late. Sophia sits cross-legged on the floor, holding an envelope addressed to Carlos Hernandez, inmate number 47291, Arizona State Prison. "But Daddy died in a car crash," Sophia whispers, her dark eyes, so much like Carlos's, filling with confusion. "You said he went to heaven when I was little." Maria's knees buckle. For 8 years, she's carried this crushing weight. 8 years of telling everyone in Phoenix that her husband died in a tragic accident. 8 years of watching Sophia make Father's Day cards for a daddy she believed was watching from above. The truth? Carlos is alive, serving what should have been a 15-year sentence for embezzlement, a crime he never committed. "Sweetheart, let me explain," Maria says, her voice barely a whisper. She sinks down beside her daughter, the attic suddenly feeling like a confessional booth. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes when they're scared. Sophia's small fingers trace the prison address. "Is Daddy in jail? Is that why he can't come home?" The question shatters Maria's heart into 1,000 pieces. She remembers that horrible night 8 years ago when Carlos burst through their apartment door, his face pale with terror. His business partner, Derek Morrison, had been stealing from their construction company for months. When Carlos discovered the missing funds, Derek planted evidence making it look like Carlos was the thief. "They're coming for me, Maria," Carlos had whispered, holding baby Sophia close. "Derek's got connections with some dangerous people. If I run, they'll hurt you and Sophia. If I stay and fight, it could take years, and you'll both be targets." So Carlos made the ultimate sacrifice. He took the plea deal, accepting guilt for crimes he never committed, believing it would keep his family safe. Maria told everyone he died because she couldn't bear the shame. A nurse married to a convicted felon? She'd lose her job, her reputation, everything. So she created an elaborate lie, complete with a fake funeral and a gravestone she visits every year on their anniversary. "Mommy, you're crying," Sophia says, reaching up to touch Maria's cheek. "I miss Daddy so much," Maria sobs, pulling her daughter close. "I've missed him every single day." That evening, after Sophia falls asleep clutching one of Carlos's old letters, Maria sits at her kitchen table staring at her phone. She hasn't spoken to Carlos in 3 years. The guilt became too overwhelming, the lies too heavy. But now, her phone buzzes. Unknown number. "Maria, it's me." Carlos's voice, deeper now, weathered by years of pain, sends electricity through her entire body. "Carlos, how are you?" "I'm out, Maria. They caught Derek. He confessed to everything." His voice breaks. "I'm free, completely exonerated. I've been trying to find you for weeks." Maria's world tilts on its axis. "Out? But you had 7 more years." The real evidence finally surfaced. Derek's been running a massive fraud operation. The FBI arrested him last month, and he gave up everything to reduce his sentence. My conviction was overturned. Carlos pauses. "Maria, I know what you told people. I know about the funeral, the story about the car accident. I don't blame you." Tears stream down Maria's face. "Carlos, I'm so sorry. I was scared and I thought..." "You thought you were protecting Sophia. I understand. But Maria, I want to come home. I want to meet my daughter properly. She doesn't even know me." The next morning, Maria sits Sophia down at their small breakfast table. Sunlight streams through the kitchen window, illuminating the little girl's curious face. "Sophia, remember those letters you found? I need to tell you the truth about Daddy." For the next hour, Maria explains everything in terms an 8-year-old can understand. How Daddy was blamed for something he didn't do. How he went away to protect them. How Mommy was so scared and sad that she told everyone he died because it felt easier than explaining the truth. Sophia listens with the wisdom that only children possess. When Maria finishes, Sophia asks quietly, "So Daddy's not dead? He's really coming home?" "Yes, baby, he's really coming home." "And he's not a bad person?" "No, sweetheart, Daddy is a hero. He sacrificed everything to keep us safe." 3 days later, Maria stands at her front door, her hand trembling on the doorknob. Sophia hides behind her legs, suddenly shy about meeting the father she's only known through stories and faded photographs. The door opens, and there he is. Carlos. Thinner, grayer at the temples, with lines around his eyes that weren't there before. But those same gentle brown eyes that made her fall in love 15 years ago. "Hi," he says simply. "Hi," she whispers back. Sophia peeks out from behind Maria's legs. "Are you really my daddy?" Carlos drops to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "Yes, Mija, I'm your daddy, and I have loved you every single day of your life, even when I couldn't be here." Sophia studies his face for a long moment, then slowly walks toward him. "Mommy says you're a hero." "Your mommy is the hero," Carlos says, glancing up at Maria. "She kept our family together when I couldn't." As Sophia tentatively hugs her father for the first time in her memory, Maria realizes that some lies are born from love, but truth, no matter how painful, is what sets families free. 6 months later, the Hernandez family sits together at Sophia's school play. Carlos has started his own construction company with the compensation money from his wrongful conviction. Maria still works as a nurse, but now she comes home to a complete family every night. Their neighbors, who initially whispered and stared when the truth came out, now see them as an inspiration. A family that survived the unthinkable and came back stronger. As Sophia takes her bow on stage, she waves at both her parents sitting together in the front row. Maria reaches for Carlos's hand, and for the first time in 8 years, she feels whole. Sometimes the greatest love stories aren't about perfect beginnings. They're about families brave enough to fight their way back to each other, no matter how long the journey home.